Okay.
Good morning. I'm Rose from Grandma Rose's Open Pantry, and it's kind of early this morning, but I'm going to go ahead and get a meatloaf in the oven because I'm going to be making some muscadine jelly later, and I'm going to do a video on that. But I wanted to go ahead and get my lunch in the oven. So I've got about a pound or a pound and a quarter of ground beef, just regular. This is Angus beef, just regular ground beef. And in it, I'm going to put 2 eggs. I usually put 1 egg, but I'm trying to make this as low carb as I can. So I'm using 2 eggs, and that's to kind of bind it together. I'm putting 1/4 cup, almost a 1/4 cup of ketchup. Now this is no sugar added ketchup. This is not going to have any sugar in it at all. I'm going to put 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I'm putting 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1/2 teaspoon. That's all right. That was a teaspoon of onion, but I'm going to put a teaspoon of garlic too. Okay, that was a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder. Now, and I'm going to put, we're going to try, this is just a recipe I'm coming up with this morning. I've never made this because I've never tried to make it low carb, but most people put breadcrumbs, cracker crumbs, some kind of filler in it. Well, I'm trying it this morning low carb, and so we're just going to see how it works. I know it's going to be delicious. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire in it. And as my binder, along with my eggs this morning, I'm using coconut flour. You could use almond flour. You can use, I guess now, I'm thinking you can use almond flour or coconut flour. So I'm just trying it this morning to see how it's going to work. So I wrote my little recipe down. So that's 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 pounds of ground beef, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I've got down here a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, but I put a whole teaspoon in it. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire, and over here, I've got a little electric chopper, and I diced, I don't know that big one. I chopped them up really, really fine. There's another big one, so I'll take it out. So this is a 1/2 cup of chopped onion, and now I'm fixing to put my almond flour in there. And I'm just going to take my hands and I'm going to mix it all up. I don't have any rings or anything on my hands, and they are clean. So we're going to see how this works today. I really hope it works well because I love meatloaf, and I haven't made it much because I just haven't tried to come up with a recipe that would hold it together when you cut it, that would bind it together. Because meatloaf, now I've made hamburgers, but I've not made the meatloaf. So I'm really hoping that this is going to work because meatloaf is one of my favorite, and I really like it. So, and it feels like, if you can see the texture of it, and you can see how it holds together, it feels like and looks like that it's going to do as well as just a regular meatloaf with your bread or your wheat crackers, your wheat bread or whatever in it. So, but I'm about to get this in the oven, and we're going to see how it works. So, all right. I've just got a little 8x8 dish here, and I'm not spraying it or anything because the ground beef has some fat in it. So, but I just press it out like this. Now, when it gets done, I make what I used to call a sweet topping for my meatloaf. I make meatloaf two ways. I make one with a sweet topping, and then I make one that Roy likes with just gravy on it. So I'll be showing you that one later when I come up with a way that I can make it low carb and gluten free. And this is sugar free, gluten free, low carb. So I'm going to, I forgot what I was saying, but anyway. Oh, I know, the topping. Sorry. I always put a sweet topping on mine, and I use ketchup, but this morning I'm going to use, I'm not going to put as much topping. It has like brown sugar in it, but I will use my brown monk fruit, my natural sugar substitute. It has onions, it has ketchup, and I will use no sugar added ketchup. And I won't put as much because the ketchup does have some carbs in it. Even though it has no added sugars in it, I'll just put a light coating on top. But that's after it gets done. After it gets done, I'll take it out, spread that topping over it, and I'll come back and show you how I make the topping. So let me wash my hands because I've got this meat on them. And as y'all know, I've got bleach water in my sink. I always do have. So I'm fixing to slide. This will just make a nice meatloaf for me and Roy and Cody. And so I'm going to slide it in the oven. It's on 350, and I'm going to set it for 30 minutes. And it may take 45 minutes. We'll see. So as soon as I start making my topping, I'll be right back with you. See you in a little bit. Okay, I'm fixing to make my topping. And I'm just using tomato sauce, which is just Great Value brand tomato sauce. I've got a 1/4 cup of tomato sauce, and I've got about 2 good tablespoons of ketchup, no sugar added ketchup. When I said this was sugar free, y'all know I mean no sugar added. Nothing is hardly sugar free, but especially if it's got fruits or vegetables in it, but it's no sugar added. So to this, now that was a 1/4 cup of tomato sauce and 2 tablespoons of no sugar added ketchup. To this, I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and I'm going to stir that up. And now, Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to add,
I think you got a little Worcestershire sauce there, girl.
that was funny.
Maybe you just need to drink a little of that off.
I took my lid off, and I meant to do that. It don't matter. It's going to be good. That should have been 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire, but it was more like 2 tablespoons. But hey, we like Worcestershire, so it's all right. It's going to be good. But anyway, and I've got a little less than a 1/4 cup of chopped onion here, because we like chopped onion in our topping. There's a fly in here, baby. You open the doors around here now. It's been raining. It's so humid that fly will come in. All right, now I'm going to use my same spoon here. I am putting, that's 2 tablespoons to begin with. Now this is brown sugar swerve. And as you can see, it's a dark color. This is the way the brown swerve looks. I've shown you before, the monk fruit is a lighter color and the monk fruit is grainier. This is more like dark brown sugar here. So I'm going to mix it in. Stir it up really well. I'm not going to put any salt or pepper in this. And then I'm going to taste of it just to see if it's got enough of the sweetener in it.
I'm worried about the salt in the Worcestershire sauce.
No.
It's all right?
It is really good. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'm going to put a little bit more sweetener. That's like 2.5 tablespoons. Because it's a sweet sauce and we like it sweet. No, it does. It does. It does have a little bit too much Worcestershire. Y'all, one tablespoon of Worcestershire. Don't put 2. Now, if you make it double this, you can put 2. But not.
You call this Worcestershire meatloaf? Is that what you call this?
Yeah, I think that's what it's gonna be. My meatloaf has 5 minutes, so I'm gonna take it out. Oh my goodness, it's not done, but I want you to look at that. See, there's just a very little bit of grease in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my topping over it. Oh, that made a lot of topping. And I'm going to let it cook probably 10 or 15 more minutes. So I put it on 30 minutes, so it'll be 40 or 45 minutes. And I put it in now because I want these onions to cook a little bit. So I'm just going to slide it right back in the oven. And I'm going to put my timer on 15 minutes. And it'll be done after that. And my topping will kind of have glazed over and thickened up a little bit. So I think it's going to be really good. So be back in 15 minutes and we're going to see what it looks like. Okay. I've taken our meatloaf out of the oven and it cooked 45 minutes. And the last 10 minutes I put it up, I cooked it on 350. The last 10 minutes I put it on 400 because I wanted that sauce to kind of make like a glaze. So I just put it on 400 for the last 10 minutes because the sauce wasn't drying out like I wanted it to. So I'm fixing to cut a piece. Oh my,
Whoa.
Look at that.
Looks good, girl.
Look at that texture. Oh goodness, this turned out really well. Look at that texture. Looks just like a meatloaf. I mean, that you would use wheat in, like bread or crackers or whatever. So I'm going to let Roy taste of this. I'm going to give a taste first because I want to know what it tastes like. It's hot. Oh my. Tastes just like meatloaf. That is so good. And that those 2 eggs and that coconut flour, it holds it together real well, just like if you had used any other binder. So I'm gonna let Roy taste now. Okay, baby. That's our cantaloupe that we got out of the garden a couple of days ago, and that's our peppers and okra.
Camera's supposed to be on me.
Well, it is now. Tell me.
That is a delicious meatloaf.
As good, just as good as.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
No, you would not know.
I wouldn't know the difference.
You would not know that this meatloaf did not have your regular bread or crackers or whatever in it.
That sauce is just as tasty as if it had real sugar in it.
It's delicious.
Woo.
Well, that's our meatloaf, and I'm telling you, it is really, really good. And this is our veggies, my red pepper, green pepper, little banana pepper, little sweet peppers, my okra, snake squash that we got out of the garden. And as you can see, I am in the process now fixing to make my muscadine jelly. So I got my jars on here. So we're fixing to sign off of this video. And y'all make this this meatloaf.
It's good.
Because
it's good.
It's
very good.
It's delicious. I mean,
Oh, that's
if nobody told me that it was not your regular meatloaf, I would not know it. That if it was no sugar added meatloaf,
that's
I would
delicious
not know.
as any meatloaf can be, and it's low carb. In fact, I would call that keto,
No.
except for the tomato in it.
Yeah.
All right, let me call it keto-esque.
Okay.
So
That's a
she's
good
a
name.
stickler about me not saying keto because sometimes there's a little something else in it. So it's keto-esque. And And it means it's good for you, and it's delicious. Whoa!
But anyway.
I'm ready to eat, and
Yeah.
it's just 10 o'clock.
No, it's just 10 o'clock. We got to make this jelly first. Okay, well, y'all please make this meatloaf. You're going to love it. It's another alternative to a regular meatloaf. It's an alternative that I come up with that is healthy, and it's low carb. The no sugar added ketchup only has 1 carb in it, and it has no sugar added. So, honey, look in the refrigerator and get that. It's Heinz no sugar added ketchup. It's on the bottom shelf. Yeah, that's it right there. That's what I buy. But I looked up a recipe today for how to make your own sugar-free ketchup. And so I'm going to try that too, and I'm going to do a video on it. Okay, I love y'all. Please share this video, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see y'all in a little bit when I start making this jelly.